Hello, my name is Haley Cox, and today I'm going to share with you why I chose my career in supply chain. The year is 2135. The world is shut down due to a global pandemic, and people are not allowed to go outdoors. The schools have gone dark, restaurants have closed, and you are terrified of going near your neighbors. People are sick, the food shelves are empty, and everyone is fighting for toilet paper. Just kidding, that's actually 2020, and we're living that reality. Something straight out of a fiction movie that you would watch on the Sci-Fi Channel is happening as we speak. I bet you're wondering why this would have anything to do with the career I have chosen. But in fact, it is the core of why I chose where I'm at today. Supply chain is an essential career that will never go away because humans have three core needs: food, water, and shelter. Supply chain is a core fundamental in making sure that humankind is able to supply those three core needs and more. Over the last 4 months, we have learned just how valuable essential employees are when the world has seemed anything but normal. The stability and growth potential in the supply chain industry are two core reasons why you should consider a job in this industry. I'll share with you some of the reasons why I chose a career in supply chain and why I'm so happy that I did. Raise your hand if you've ever gone grocery shopping. How about if you've gone out to eat at a restaurant? I can guarantee that 100% of people in this room will raise their hand. Every person on this planet is reliant on supply chain. Strategic supply chain management is one of the most important aspects of safety and stability in our food supply. In today's day and age, we have more access to global market trade now more than ever. This means the cheaper the ingredients that we are importing, potentially the less quality guarantee on what we as consumers are eating. I wanted to help be a part of supporting a safe and secure supply chain. I want to know what I'm eating. In many instances, food items can be significantly cheaper when they are imported. Vendors in many countries can offer cheaper ingredients due to cheaper labor and fewer regulatory requirements. Inspectors at the Food and Drug Administration only test a small percentage of food being imported into the U.S. It means that vast amounts of food items enter the domestic food supply chain without inspection. This is where I come in. Retail companies are reliant on co-manufacturers to audit and safely assess their domestic and international ingredient suppliers. The complexity behind food regulation is extensive and requires careful attention to detail and conscientious decision-making skills that will impact a large range of people, not only in the United States, but all over the world. Are you a person who enjoys problem solving? Putting all of the puzzle pieces together, metaphorically or actually? Properly securing supply chain goes beyond mitigating risk. It also makes them more flexible and efficient. A 2006 study by Stanford University, the National Association of Manufacturers, found that improvements in supply chain security led to a 38% reduction in theft, loss, and pilferage, 12% increase in reported on-time delivery, 14% reduction in excess inventory, a 49% reduction in cargo delays, and 29% reduction in transit times. The keys to securing global supply chains are visibility to product and suppliers, in transit and throughout the distribution network, as well as the ability to immediately take action when disruptions occur. Problem solving, strategy, and taking action are three key characteristics in supply chain that I knew I would enjoy. I am a problem solver by nature. If something is broke or not working, I like to fix it. I am not a person who enjoys things remaining problematic or difficult. I think these are key elements that make a strong candidate for any position in the supply chain industry. Take, for instance, my current job. I work as a category manager in the sports nutrition industry. We make protein powders and protein bars that sports athletes, bodybuilders, and many health advocates use. On a daily basis, I oversee and manage the import of over 1,000 different ingredients to support our production lines. This requires high attention to detail, math skills, complex problem solving, and the ability to work under high pressure. I knew that working in this industry would be the right fit for me because my personality traits, but also because I love to be busy nonstop. I am always on the go, and there is never a moment in the day where I stop and think, oh, I wish this 8-hour shift would end. Oftentimes I end up being there 12 anyways. I have shared with you some of the strategic parts of my job that I enjoy. Now let me share with you why I personally chose to be part of a supply chain team focusing on food manufacturing. I must have been 23 or 24 years old when my mom asked me one day why I chose to be in supply chain, specifically in food manufacturing. But I remember telling her, very poignantly, because everyone needs to eat. That was almost 10 years ago. You see, I was a single young mother and I was looking for something stable to make sure that my daughter and I always had what we needed. A friend of mine suggested that I look for jobs in the food manufacturing industry. There is an abundance of those where I live in Los Angeles. I started doing research and came to realize that supply chain careers were on the rise, and it was the perfect time to get my foot in the door. That was in 2011. Fast forward 9 years, and in the middle of a global pandemic, I am fortunate enough to have been able to work from home and help my daughter with online schooling from the start of the pandemic until now. The global pandemic has not only proven how fragile the global supply chain is, but also how much job security there is as well. Many materials that we import from Asia had supply chain disruptions due to the government shutdowns. This provided a valuable learning lesson in problem solving, mitigating risk, material evaluation, and strategic sourcing. Because of the material disruptions in Asia, the supply chain team spent many hours putting together risk evaluations, standard operating procedures for future unanticipated shutdowns or disruptions that we would have never dreamed of prior to the COVID-19 crisis. The consequences of a pandemic event are hard to predict, said Corey Kosei, Senior Director Analyst. However, the risks always exist and are augmented with further globalization and integration of supply chains. It is not a matter of if it will happen, but to change the focus to be prepared when it happens. That is a shift of mindset in risk management and business continuity. Many markets and industries have closed or gone bankrupt in the last 4 months, which is a complete opposite of the food manufacturing and supply chain industry. During this global crisis, I have been fortunate enough to have been promoted because there were many obstacles thrown my way that I had to overcome and solve. These were all scenarios that I considered when choosing my career in supply chain. Now that I have shared with you the many challenges that I enjoy about working in supply chain and why I chose this as my career, I want to remind everyone that the success of an individual in their career is completely dependent on the team he or she surrounds herself with. All in all, supply chain and food manufacturing are very strategic and very fragile. Many people do not realize the complexity that goes on behind the scenes to assure you have food on the shelves for your family. I like to think of that my careful consideration for the world around me and the potential of the unthinkable to happen is what led me down this path. The stability of my career helps keep a roof over my head, a roof over my daughter's head, and food in our stomachs, clothes on our backs. If you are looking for a potential career that is both challenging and gratifying at the same time, I urge you to explore the supply chain industry. Thank you. Have a great day.